Give people a minute to join if anybody's gonna watch. How's it going, everybody? DeepSouthEdc coming at ya. Happy Hump Day, y'all. Today's Wednesday, December 7th, 7th day of Christmas. Excuse me. Got some interesting things in the news today, so let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. So let's see. Let's go international first, I guess. Kind of international. So Time Magazine just announced their Person of the Year, and they have chosen President Voldemort Zelensky as Time Magazine Person of the Year. So there's that. Didn't Time Magazine have Hitler as Man of the Year? I think he might have been Man of the Year 2 different years. So, I mean, if anybody knows their Men of the Year, it's Time Magazine. So there's that. Let's see. That's about all I got for that. The Georgia runoff finished, so we got Raphael Warnock winning that. So now the Senate is 51 Democrat, 49 Republican. Will it change anything? It's hard to say. I mean, before it was 50-50. So in that case, the vice president, she, in this case, is the president of the Senate. So if there was like a vote that was a tie, she would be the tiebreaker. So it's like the Democrats already had that +1 advantage. So in this case, now the vice president is out, and I guess it just kind of might. I don't think we'll see a difference, is what I'm trying to say. I think it's about the same. Man, getting blowed up right now. Sorry, guys. Interesting story from a couple of days ago. Local story in Louisiana. So over here at Louis Armstrong International Airport, there was a woman on a plane who she was arrested for spitting and kicking 6 different deputies. So she was asked to leave the plane after asking a family who appeared to her to be Latino if they were smuggling cocaine. So this person's name was, let's just say her name, Shannon Epstein, and she is today's piece of shit. So Shannon Epstein is a racist piece of shit. So apparently she's the niece of former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. So I guess she thinks she could just be a racist piece of shit because of that. So when officers started escorting her off the plane, she started kicking, screaming, spitting. It took 7 deputies to subdue her, and they eventually had to handcuff her to a wheelchair just so they can wheel her around the airport and get her the hell out of there. So, I don't know. That's just, I mean, when I'm on a plane, I don't know about you guys, but personally, when I'm on a plane, I like to get in my seat and mind my own fucking business. I guess I look at people as they come down the aisle. I mean, I just make sure that I'm not, it's a regular situational awareness, but I'm not like trying to make comments at people or anything like that. I'm a pretty big proponent in, treating people the way you want to be treated. So if I want to, I want people to leave me alone. So I'm going to leave people alone, especially on a crowded ass airplane. I'm not going to start making, comments like that, smuggling cocaine. Just because, anyway, that was ridiculous. So she's getting like assault on an officer charges and some resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, things like that. Again, she's pretty well connected. I don't think any of these charges are really going to stick. If they do, it's going to be like a fine, if anything. Like I said, she's the niece of like Chris Christie, the former governor of New Jersey. So, yeah, sorry, I gotta drink my coffee. Gotta get my go juice. Been on like a weird work schedule. I open and close and open and close, and I really just don't have a set schedule. So I've had some pretty junk sleep. Haven't really had good sleep lately. You get a sip of this coffee, and we'll go over this last thing. So this last thing will be pretty interesting. This is a local thing. So if anybody of you are out here in southern Louisiana, over here in Orleans Parish, this is going to affect you for sure. So we'll get to that in a second. So some of you aren't asking where I got this badass cup from. So I actually got this at Buc-ee's, driving from Albuquerque back to New Orleans with my cousin, Grandpa Easy. Shout out. You guys should follow him. He has some pretty cool like outdoors videos, fishing and stuff like that. But anyway, we stopped at a Buc-ee's to take a nap and got this cool cup. Yeah, Buc-ee's. It was my first time there. Maybe I had higher expectations, so when I got there, I was a little disappointed in what I saw. But I guess not having those expectations, I thought, it might be, cool. I wish it was a little more truck stoppy, with all of because truck stops are pretty cool. Like they sell everything at a truck stop. You can buy, man, it got real quiet on the street all of a sudden. But yeah, you can buy like charger, all kinds of like cool random stuff, badass knives. I wouldn't say they're badass, but you got that mall ninja stuff. I wish there was a little more of a truck stop vibe to it. It's pretty well organized, clean bathrooms. Had a fresh breakfast sandwich from there. That was pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. I wish it would just have had a touch more trucks. I know like truckers aren't welcome and it's not like that kind of place. But regular people still go to truck stops for the funny, cool shit. So maybe bring a little bit of that. All right. We'll get to this last story. So I think I maybe touched on this a little bit at some point, but recently we just voted here in New Orleans to pass I don't know what you call it, a measure or an amendment that pretty much says that the city council has to approve any person appointed by the mayor to any like department, like sanitation or head of whatever. Right now, and that passed, by the way. Right now, the mayor can appoint whoever to whatever. I don't have to have experience. I don't have to be vetted. She could just do whatever. So that amendment passed, and it's supposed to start January 1st. Most recently, so in New Orleans, we call the police chief the superintendent. I don't know. It's maybe an old Spanish or old French thing. Just like the counties, they're called parishes here. We don't have counties. And that's a leftover thing. Anyway, we can get into the history of Louisiana another time. It's pretty rich. Excuse me. All right. So, New Orleans Police Department Superintendent Sean Ferguson is he announced his retirement. He's going to be retiring here soon. So the reason why this story is so big, well, relatively big, is, well, what the local press anyway is trying to spin it is, so this woman named Jeanette Williams, so apparently she's tapped for the position, and the whole thing is she's going to be the first woman police superintendent, and she's like, so there's that. Now I tried to look into her. I posted a story on Twitter and on my Minds, so you guys can go find one of the sources that I was able to find. But her career, I don't know. You'll just have to look at it. She's been in a bunch of different departments for short periods of time. Like she's done like sex trafficking and things like that. But I don't know. She's also been like the what do you call it? Like the spokesperson, like the the media person, the person who always talks, to the media. And so I was a little surprised at this appointment, because we have the city has hired 2 consultants from they were like ex NYPD police officers, to come and try to figure out what the hell's going on with our police department and try to fix it as much as possible. So I totally thought she would have hired one of those 2 guys. That just made sense. She's paying them all this money, or we're paying them all this money, I should say, and they're consulting anyway. So why wouldn't you just put one of them in charge to just do it? I am a little worried because it is New York, or they are former NYPD police officers, and the NYPD do not have a good record of, recognizing constitutional rights. I mean, that's an issue with a lot of police, most police. Anyway, I'm going to digress on that. So I think one of the parts that's being ignored, it was touched on a little bit in one story that I read like 5 or 6, but if the mayor gets this person appointed before January 1st, then that's it, the lady's in. But if somehow it's held out till after, then it'll have to what you call it, it'll have to go through the city council approval. So that's why I think like the mayor is just trying to get this particular person like in right away. It's there's going to be no questions asked. Like I said, it was hard finding information on this particular person's history. Jeanette Williams, Jonette. So if anybody has any info on that, I'd like to follow up on that and get some more info on her, because they're trying to get her in right away before the city council is able to have any sort of oversight on that in particular. And that's worrisome. Right now, the city council, most of the members have been doing a good job at trying to rein in what's been going on with this crazy mayoral administration we have here. And the mayor is, she's as threat of recall right now. The petitions are still going on. I need to get some updates for you guys on that, let you guys know how that's going on. Let's see. So we had all of the articles that I read, they all tried to get a comment from the mayor's office or the police department, and so far nobody has answered for any comment or anything. So this is one I'm going to be keeping an eye on real close, and I'll be doing some updates on this. So this woman, she was promoted to lieutenant right away and then captain right away. So she moved up through the ranks kind of fast, and she was heading up some of these particular I don't know what you call them, divisions or departments, like the human trafficking division. I don't know what you call it. So I guess she was in charge of some heavy shit, but the thing is I live here, and that's the only one I can remember off the top of my head is that the trafficking one, the human trafficking one. But there was a bunch of other ones that she was in charge with. But just from living here, anyway, as I was saying, if she was in charge of all of that, I'm gonna have to do a hard pass on her because New Orleans is struggling. It's been struggling hard, man. I recently I've had several of my friends and like coworkers who I don't think they're particularly anti-gun, but they're not pro-gun. Come up to me and ask me for advice on purchasing firearms, and I've had to educate people. I had one person ask me for help on picking out a firearm and then how to register it. So had to go through with some education on that. Answering questions like a lot of these people don't know, and you don't want to try to like. It's hard with being me, especially, to not be sarcastic or to make jokes or to make fun of their ignorance, because that's it. The people that have approached me, like, they're not necessarily anti-gun, but they're more ignorant and they don't know. So I had to educate somebody that you don't actually have to register your firearm, and I explained, the only thing that you have to get a license for is if you want to carry your weapon concealed outside the house. Well, the outside the house thing, that's a weird thing in Louisiana law. That's a topic for another video. I'm going to write that down actually so I don't forget. CCWLA law, inside outside house. Anyway, I was explaining the only thing that you needed to get a license for is if you wanted to conceal carry your weapon outside the house. And I explained that I had one. I went through like what you needed to do to get one. And they seemed interested. And, I explained how, the purchasing of a firearm goes, and, filling out the 4473 and, that sort of thing. And, I always ask them, like, when someone asks me, hey, how do I purchase a gun? I say, well, first, are you a felon? Or have you ever been arrested for a misdemeanor domestic violence charge? They usually look at me like, what? No? I then just go to the store and pick out your firearm and fill out the paperwork. The background check takes a few minutes, and then you're good to go. Another thing is a lot of people who don't know or who are just, getting their feet wet, they think like there's still a waiting period and stuff. And that's still some like Clinton era shit. Some states might have a waiting period, but, I told them if your next check comes back, it usually only takes, I think my first one took 15 minutes because that was my very first time. And they're like, what? That fast? I'm like, yeah. They're like, not 3 days? I'm like, no. Everything, like, it's called the National Instant Check System. Instant check. Like, everybody's always so surprised that, a background check can be done in minutes these days because of technology. I don't know. It's so crazy. Anyway, guys, I'll leave that one there. So, it's getting bad out there. Hopefully it gets better soon. Before I end this, I wanted to touch on this real fast. I was reading an article, or not even an article, it was a Reddit post that someone was like, CCW in the house, and he was like, so I carry in the house and my girlfriend thinks I'm crazy. So I wanted to share a statistic with you guys. First of all, I'm going to put this poll up somewhere on one of my social medias where nobody follows me at. But I want to know how many of you guys carry inside the house. But I did want to point out that the specific statistic, did you guys all know that 100% of home invasions happen inside the home? So with that, I'll leave that right there. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you're notified for all of our live streams and all of my new uploads. Follow me on Rumble. You can find me everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Minds.com at DeepSouthEdc. I'm at DeepSouthEdc everywhere. And if you're on Minds, leave me a super mind. I'd love to make a video for you. Anyway, y'all, I rambled on for long enough. I only got a few minutes left on my lunch break. So y'all know, stay well regulated. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.